We have to now define what is Zionism and who are Zionists in order to address the subject of the Zionist attack on Syria. And Zionism plays an extraordinarily significant role in the affairs of the world today. A dominant role in political affairs, in economic affairs, in monetary affairs, in military affairs of the world today, even in religious affairs, in sports and entertainment. And so we do need an explanation of what is Zionism. And our preliminary remark is that if you want to get an explanation of the reality of the world today, and you want to get that from universities, it won't happen. Universities cannot explain the world today. Nor can governments do it. Nor can newspapers and radio and television do it. And it's now becoming increasingly clear and painfully clear that even the scholars of Islam are failing in explaining the reality of the world today. Only the Quran and only Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam can deliver a comprehensive and accurate explanation of the reality of the world today. And for that, we need a methodology for the study of the subject. In the Quran and in the Ahadith, it is ilmu akhiru zaman more than anything else, which explains the world today. And in the Quran, which surah? Suratul Kahf. Suratul Kahf. In Malaysia, you say Suratul Kahfi. Suratul Kahf of the Quran, more than any other surah of the Quran, explains the reality of the world today. Who are the Zionists? There are Christian Zionists and there are Jewish Zionists. And now, as time progresses, we even get some Arab, some Chinese, maybe a couple Malay, who are Zionists as well, Pakistani Zionists and so on. But the original are Christian and Jewish. And these Christians and Jews have come together, and this cement which has bonded them together is Zionism. Does the Quran explain this phenomenon of a Jewish-Christian Zionist alliance which today dominates the world so significantly? Yes, it does. And we have on several occasions attempted to explain this verse of the Quran. If you have heard it before and you have not gone to others to teach it to others, then do please listen to it again, because this is what you're supposed to do. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who have faith in Allah, لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء. Do not take the Jews and do not take the Christians as your awliya, your friends and allies. We pause. Proper methodology is that you do not take any verse of the Quran in isolation or any hadith in isolation to derive meaning. If you do that, you could come to the conclusion that Iblis was an angel. Well, if this Quran is not referring to all Jews and all Christians, because when we study the rest of the Quran, there are several verses which indicate that Allah could not be referring to all Jews and all Christians when He said, do not take the Jews and do not take the Christians as your friends and allies. Well then, which Jews and which Christians? The answer is to be found in the words which follow. بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. Do not take such Jews and such Christians as your friends and allies, who themselves are friends and allies of each other. And so the Quran is informing us. I would prefer to use the word anticipating, but some people have objected to that word. The Quran is informing us that a time is going to come when there's going to be a Jewish-Christian alliance. And when that Jewish-Christian alliance comes into being, you are prohibited as Muslims from maintaining friendly ties with them and being their allies. بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. And then the verse continues to declare, وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. Whosoever from amongst you turn to them with friendship and alliance now belong to them. You've lost your Islam. You now belong to them. فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Surely Allah does not provide guidance for a people who are wicked in conduct, who commit dhulm. That Jewish-Christian alliance has already come into being. And it is the Zionist Jewish-Christian alliance which has emerged in Europe. This is Surah Al-Ma'idah. And the Quran has now explained to us the status of Zionism and the Jewish-Christian Zionist alliance. That we are prohibited from maintaining friendly ties with them and being their allies. And by virtue of the fact that the verse ends with the words, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ, we know that one of the meanings is that these are people whose trademark would be dhulm. They commit dhulm, acts of oppression, acts of injustice, acts of like terrorism and so on. Israel